Beals here with no nonsense, cause you can't make sense if you don't make sense. A pod with freestyle discussion, poetry and social deconstruction.
This is Big Burn with my co-host,
Big Beals.
This is a no-nonsense podcast, November
6th?
2014, episode
15.
That's right,
What a
15th
milestone.
anniversary. Oh, it's a pretty big milestone for us here on the pod. And I'll just have you know, I am sitting a little further away from the Beals than I normally do.
That's pretty interesting. It's
All right.
funny that you point that out.
Yeah, it is there, Bill. Now let's go ahead and get this started with the poem as we usually do. Patiently waiting for that little bundle of love, praying that our baby will be healthy to the man above. 9 months is finally up. Is it a boy or is it a girl? Barbies or toy trucks, pink or blue, what's gonna rock our world? Nope, it's a gender dysmorphic bigenitalian pansexual. Feeling shocked, I'm pacing the maternity ward, Shackton, a fool. I'm disappointed, but should I feel ashamed? Shouldn't I love my baby without constraint? Are traditional sexual orientations and identities of gender outdated and a potential subject in a history class lecture? Hope you enjoyed that piece. Now, Beals, Facebook, the most popular social network in the world, recently caved to mounting social pressure and added 51 more gender options. A pretty big step forward in the blurring of gender roles. Now, Beals, as I indicated the possibility in my poem, do you think that traditional gender roles, gender identities, and sexual orientations are outdated, and that within the next 100 years it will be far more common to see a vast array of these aforementioned preferences and identities on a daily basis?
I think that there's going to be a lot of variations on standard genders. And not just gender orientation, but genders in them of themselves. I think there's going to be a lot of hermaphrodites. I think there's going to be a lot of new inventions out in the world of different styles of sexual body parts. I think that people will be growing new body parts in the future that will have different types of genders.
And what kind of body parts are you referring to?
Well, it'd be kind of a cross between a gill and a kidney. And it would be a protrusion in the back of someone's back, and it would be able to, if you rubbed it the right way, when it met across to a another mate who would have more like a cheese grater back.
Okay.
Their back was like a cheese grater, and then they mixed together. It would create a new type of what we would call sexual intercourse.
Now, did Velveeta create these greater backs?
Actually, believe it or not, it is Kraft.
Kraft. Now, what I've heard is that these cheese companies are thinking about starting a whole new community at the Earth's core. And that there's actually an ocean at the Earth's core that is very large, and they're going to think about using that to sustain life on all cheese-backed life forms. Is this true?
I believe that actually at the center of the universe, that's or the Earth,
Yeah.
is a rather cool place. I think that it's obviously extremely cold, and that's how the volcanoes are able to erupt because of that core center. And I think it'd be too cold for any business to partake place in.
Because let me tell you what, one time I dug down there and I found a few CRT TVs, and then I gave them to a few children, and then they gave it back to me, wondering if they squandered their opportunities in life. And I said, no, as long as you go to Andy Shoe Repair, you'll be fine. And that's what my experience at the Earth's core. Have you ever dug down to the Earth's core?
No, but let me ask you about those children. What kind of sexual orientation did they have?
They are pansexuals.
Pansexuals. And I think what's a growing issue in today's world is the sexual orientation of, say, 3 to 5 year olds. A lot of times, you know, they just don't have what it takes to come out and just boldly say how they truly feel. And I think that there's a growing epidemic, and I think it's creating a lot of depression. I think it's one of the leading causes of depression and probably the leading cause of diabetes in America.
Well, maybe those kids need to start focusing on their lawn
I believe
to
that,
help ease that depression.
Right, and I think that if not the whole lawn, at least a section of it could relieve a lot of stress.
I mean, societal expectations might be depressing them, but, you know, the lawn is the most cathartic thing that you could possibly indulge in, as we mentioned earlier in the pod.
Absolutely. I believe with the growing rate of gender issues derived from more of our mortgage-backed loans. That I don't think that children growing up in America will be immigrants in the future. I think that the children born in America will be illegal aliens.
But I heard illegal aliens can only come from Russian earthquakes.
Russian earthquakes?
Russian earthquakes, and that's why they can't get these teaser-back loans, because they're driving on cement blocks in concentric circles, and then they go around to the earthquakes that they came back in, and that's how they're illegal, and that's partially why their gender is all confused.
Yeah, I would say that that's probably brought on more by this advertisement that's going on throughout the industries today, and I think that if there was more advertisements, I think one problem that we're having in America is that we just really aren't seeing enough advertisements. And I'm talking about also not just towards the specific topic that you are talking about, but also just advertisements in general. I think lots of different companies, I think car companies are not advertising as much, and I think that's also creating gendered inequality and confusion among children.
Do you think that's having an effect on the weather system and precipitation patterns?
I believe that the lack of commercial advertising for, in particular, trucks, I think really plays a large role in how much rainfall we see annually in a given region of the world.
Well, all right. That was a pretty lively discussion today on the pod. Beals, can you please end it with us with a poem today? Please take it away.
If I'm outside and I'm playing guitar on my nice, beautiful Fender, there's no question about it. You look at me, you know my gender. You say, wow, that's a dude playing what a dude can do. And when you look at other people, you say, wow, they could be rude. If they don't know what your gender is, I think it's something you should try to expose. It's like, do you have a hole inside you, or do you have a hose? So come on, guys. Just let us know what your gender is, because we want to know if you're her or you're his.
Thank you for that beautiful piece there, Beals. And you can go ahead and email us at the no nonsense podcast at gmail.com. Go ahead and let us know what your Gmail is, and we're going to go ahead and start a social campaign and really fight for you. So go ahead, and it doesn't matter what you are, and we'll go ahead and help you out.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Hope you got some insight and a few laughs. That's all for now, folks. Yes, goodbye. Till next time, as long as we don't die.